Balance, a podcast where I, teetering on the precipice of perimenopause, Penelope Penny Ashton, which I decided my name was for a while when I was sad that I had no middle name, try to uncover what will happen under my covers when my estrogen levels plummet to the floor like my KiwiSaver balance just did. A quick reminder, as always, that I am not a doctor, nor am I a financial advisor. So if you are requiring advice around HRT or KiwiSaver tax codes, then please do seek out proper medical and economic attention, not a comedian with a brand new Sharesies account. Today's guest may not be a doctor, but in my continuing series of two people from the hallowed halls of Shortland St, I am welcoming an on-screen crack paramedic and medical assistant, a woman whose character, Donna Heka's Wikipedia page, reads like the most ludicrous series of soap opera plots you could ever imagine. From falling in love with her brother, to stealing babies, to having affairs with God knows how many random penises, including the main stud of them all, Chris Warner, before eventually running away to Australia. Aside from Shortland St, she was a radio DJ, presented TV as a singer, and all-round fabulous performer. So please give a rousing, showy ovarian welcome to the very lovely Stephanie Tauevihi.
Oh, kia ora.
Kia ora, kia ora.
I can hear all the little ovaries around the country or whoever you reach out to just screaming my name. Kia ora.
Absolutely. Kia ora, kia ora.
What a cool name for a show.
Thank you.
Showy ovaries. I love that.
I'm glad. It took me a while to try and think about what it was going to call it, so yeah.
But the story behind that is you went into
an ultrasound.
The ultrasoundy. Yep.
And the lady said, you have very showy ovaries.
So what were they like? Look at me, you can't miss me, here I am, come get me.
I didn't really know. I just imagined them doing jazz hands, like, which I just love this idea of my ovaries going like, look at me. Yeah. But yes, no. And well, you have a story. Maybe we'll tell your story now. I like this story.
Oh, okay. So a couple of years ago, lost quite a bit of weight. Had to. It was like 149 kg, which is not pretty and not nice and really yeah. Anywho, dropped a bulk load of weight through intermittent fasting and just taking processed carbohydrates out of my system. GP calls, says, I need to check the girls and then check the, downstairs. Went in there. He wasn't even like, hi, how are you? It was like, get yourself on the bed, take your undies off. I'm like, every time. We haven't even said hello. You haven't offered me a coffee, a drink Michael. Yeah, he's a cool GP though. Literally just shoved his hand up there. And as you do, I think I was still trying to get my socks off on the gurney. That wasn't a good look. Anywho, I kind of unconcertinaed myself, lay back, let him in there. And he goes, good God. He said, I can feel everything. He said, you've lost a lot of weight, but I tell you what, Steph, you've still got a big old fat ute. All I remember is looking down and just seeing one of my socks just hanging off my toe, and I wouldn't it was like is that a compliment, Michael? What is that? Is that a compliment? He said, well, you've just got a very fat uterus.
I've never heard a uterus called a ute before. That's
big old ute. So yes, my ovaries and my big old ute are here for you today, Ms. Ashton.
Do you think it's a 4-wheel drive?
I don't like 4-wheel drive. I want it to be like just a little smart car, but that doesn't make it a fat uterus, does it? I don't know what it is, a combi van? The old combi vans from the 70s, you'd travel around Europe, the old Volkswagen. Oh, dear.
Had one child there, right? One child?
Only one child, yeah. Not proud of that one. The placenta came out the size of a 10-cent piece. And my mother, who was a registered nurse and worked in the baby unit at Middlemore, looked at me as I lay there sweating and fluid, because I'd had to have fluids, and with my baby just shaking her head going, that is the most pathetic placenta I have ever seen in my life. Hide it, put it away. It's not to be buried. There's no plant. You know what I mean? Made me feel I got like placenta issues.
You got placenta shame.
Well, it was about that big. It was, which doesn't bode well, does it? And obviously what went on down there. It wasn't a big, full, voluptuous. It was a tiny limp. Is that a makeup wipe? Used makeup wipe. What is that? But they did take my whenua up north, because my son's family are from Orota, up by Moerewa.
Oh, okay.
And they gave him a rhododendron, and I was really upset because the other cousin who got his whenua planted got a Cody tree, and I'm like, hang on, wait, okay, I know the kid came first in the whānau, and the second mook was my son, but why did he get the Cody native tree and my son gets a frickin' rhododendron? Like, I mean, a little bit bitter about that. On his day, and now he's nearly 30, so
right, okay.
The rhododendron child.
How big is the rhododendron now?
I think they've clipped it back a bit. I think that's just, I'm taking it personally now. I don't know. I should actually ring now and go, picture updates on the rhododendron, need to know. He's just come back to see me. He's having a lovely time in Australia, but I haven't been able to see him for the last 3.5 years because of COVID. It was really nice catching up with him.
Yeah, you had quite an emotional reunion?
Yeah, I did. He's got no hair now. It's weird.
Wow.
You give birth to a child that didn't have no hair, and then he comes back to see you when he's 30 with no hair.
So is he balding, or did you just shave it off?
He's balding. Yeah.
Wowzers, right? That's quite early. Right.
Yeah, it is quite early. Yeah. Big brain, very clever, very smart, very dark, very intense Scorpio child. Love him to bits.
Right, okay,
Jules
cool.
is his name.
So now Jules, fantastic.
Named him after my mum, yeah.
Oh, right, that's nice. So you played a paramedic and a medical assistant, but you have actually been working in health for the past 6 months. You've been working on the COVID hotline.
I know, I have. I've been working on the front line of the, of course, the national, COVID-19 response. Yep, ringing up people every day who are in self-isolation and doing their daily health checks, sore throat, diarrhea, abdomen. The only thing I get told off for is I spend too long in the chat with the symptoms checklist. You ask them, fever or chills. I'm like, so instead of chest pain from me, it's like, so when we're talking about chest pain there, Penny, is it a tightness across the chest, or do you feel like an elephant sitting on your chest? How's your breathing? At rest and not exert? My supervisor's like, dude, you're just an advisor. Who do you think you are? You're not a clinician. You're not a medical professional.
Well, I'm Donna fucking Heka. That's who I am.
Yeah, he actually knows that too, which I think he finds quite buzzy.
Has anybody recognised your voice?
No, but a lot of people have said, I've talked to you before, haven't I? I know you. How do I know you? And I've just let it go, and I've just got one of those voices.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And so having been at the front line, talking to people who are sick and being in varying degrees and some quite sick, I'm sure,
Very sick.
That informed your response, like how you feel about the government's response?
I just want people to be safe, dude. It is really hard when you get some really militant people, like even just jumping onto the vax line and talking to people about booster shots. You get a lot of people who are just over it now, Penny. Everybody is over it. They're either sick and over it, or they've come out the other end and they're still over it. I'm trying to get people to take boosters. If they've had COVID already and they've had their 2 jabs, they don't feel the need. And I'm talking 18-year-olds right up to 88-year-olds. Got the same kind of thing. They're just not into it. They're over it. Everyone's over it. Yeah, and we are coming to the end of it too, eh? So it's not as stressful at work at the moment, but in the beginning it really was. I was saying to you, I felt really calm taking calls where a 3-month-old baby is not breathing and they've given her 2 lots of Pamol, 2 bottles. Hello. And then you're having to warm transfer and get an ambulance around and that kind of stuff. And you feel very calm in the moment because you're at home. I work from home. I'm in a safe place, but you're dealing with a very stressful situation, and the only thing you have are your ears and your voice to get that across. So I was very, very calm, escalated it through, and then stood up for the day in my lava and Ugg boots because it's a work from home job. Don't judge me. And maybe no bra, and maybe a little bit of sleep in my eyes. I don't know. And maybe I didn't brush my teeth that day. I don't know.
It's not video.
Yay. Yeah, and I work from home. Yeah. Stood up and was drenched. My lava fell off onto the floor. 8 kilos of fluid. So I must have been stressed, or the cortisol and the adrenaline would have been spiking, but in my mind I was calm. Yeah. But I stood up after that call and I was just literally, good way to lose a bit of water weight before a wedding and stuff. No. And it was just drenched, yeah. But I don't know, is that a menopausal thing? Like I'm 49 this year and I feel like I'm going through that transition period now, like I'm getting the symptoms.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It could be. But like when I did a wedding once and I suddenly, and I think for me it's like a performance energy, which I guess is a similar thing.
Yeah.
And I just started doing the wedding and then I was drenched in sweat and this woman said, oh, but you're menopausal. And I was like, I don't think I am. It's like this is in a conservatory and I'm quite hot here. But you're at that age, as am I. You're only 3 months older than me, I think. Where you're just like, is this menopause? Is you just everything you're not sure?
Yeah, and because there's not a lot of literature out there, we go to school, we learn about our periods, we learn how to insert a tampon, we learn about training bras, we never learn about the other end of this fantastic, magical adventure that it is to be a bloody woman. We never ever are taught what happens when there is a death or a loss or a grief. It is grief.
Yeah.
You're changing.
It's not for me. I don't want children. I've never wanted children, so I don't feel it.
I only wanted the one. Yeah, I'm happy to not bleed every month. I'm over it. I'm like, you take it. Why am I still bleeding? I'm not giving any more children to the world. That's it. Please leave me alone.
It's funny because menopause can be so traumatic. I'd almost prefer to have a period because mine have been very easy. So, but
your periods have been easy, or
yeah.
And, in saying that, I'm not going to have a whinge and a moan. Mine are pretty tickety-boo and on time. And saying that, I'm 49. It was only a couple of years ago that I got stuck into the whole, what is this menopause all about? To be absolutely honest, Penny. Back in the day, it was just the idea of, your ovaries will slow down the production of estrogen produced. That was about it.
Yep, we weren't taught. We absolutely weren't taught.
No, it's like, but what it does is it makes, because we didn't talk it, are we ashamed of it? Because we're not these sexy fertility goddesses anymore. We are the makeup wipe on the, we are literally drying up.
Yeah, and I think that's the root of it all, is that because our reproductive systems, despite populating the world, have been used to hold us down and hold us back and give us shame. So this is the ultimate.
This is the ultimate.
Is so crazy, isn't it?
It's cruel and gross and brutal, and it's mean and yuck, and I don't like it.
Right.
There should be way more literature. I've got to go into Auntie Wiki or Uncle Google to find out anything about my body. The bummer for me too is I don't have a reference point because my mum died at 49.
Yeah, that's
so I'm now 49, and I'm the older sister. So my younger sisters are sitting back and taking notes, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they didn't have, and my mum was a very open woman. She was a registered nurse, but she never really talked about menopause because she herself had not got there.
Yeah, she hadn't got there. Yeah. Right.
When you can, as a 40, 50-year-old woman, go to your 68, 70-year-old mum and go, Mum, what was it like? Or, help me through this. I don't have that as such. So it is Uncle Google and Auntie Wiki and a couple of girlfriends that I have that have been through it.
Yeah.
But they always have horrible stories. They always have horrible stories about their flushes and their drenches, and good Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, we're jumping ahead, so I'm going to do my longer introduction for you.
Oh, sorry, yes.
That's quite all right. Some people you have to try and get information out of. You are not that person.
You don't.
Yeah.
I'm like a piggy bank with the lid off. You just push me up and just blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so here we go. Stephanie Tauevihi was born in Palmerston North in 1973 and grew up in South Auckland and the North Shore. She got her start in the entertainment industry by presenting at the age of 15 on the youth TV show called In Focus and also on My FM. In 1995, she was nominated for Best Female Vocalist for her work with Straw People. And then in 1997, she was cast as the iconic Shortland St character, Donna Heka, and played her through all her trials and tribulations through the next 7 years. And for that role, she won Best Supporting Actress in 2000 at the New Zealand TV Awards. The most famous storyline being falling in love with Rangi, only to find out he was her brother, only to find out he wasn't her brother, only to get married on the 2000th episode, only to find Rangi's dead body in 2001. Once Stephanie left Shorty in 2004, she went on to star in the short-lived TV show Rude Awakenings and also in the feature film Russian Snark, for which she won Best Supporting Actress in a Feature at the Qantas Awards. She's used her profile for good numerous times to help at-risk youth, to combat drug and alcohol addiction, and to raise funds for Niue after Cyclone Heta. Her most recent on-screen performances were as a Pavlova in The Masked Singer and in the TVNZ show The Panthers, about the Polynesian Panthers. So please, one more time, welcome award-winning superstar Stephanie Tauevihi.
Oh, whawhitau lava, whakauilahi.
Hello. So,
it seems like I've done heaps, eh?
This happens all the time when I do that introduction, that people sort of, when they hear it all at once, just go, oh, yeah, you did that.
It's triggering. It's a little bit traumatic, but it's also tremendous.
Why is it traumatic?
Oh, just because you think back to all those times and then memories of how it felt back then, or being the Pav, stuck in a Pav suit. No, I've had a great time in my tele and film career. It's been fun. Yeah. It is still been fun. It is still
right.
Fun.
Okay, great. So now, because this is vaguely in connection to 30th anniversary of Shortland Street, how would you characterise your time on Shortland Street?
Ooh, really surreal.
Okay.
And just a really surreal, because I've been in telly for years before that, and I remember talking to Blair about it and him saying, are you ready? And me going, oh, yeah, man, I've done In Focus, I've done a couple of docos, I'm all good for it. I love speaking to the public and interacting and playing. He said, yeah, I don't think you get it quite yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm all good, bro. No, it's full on.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that, when you leave your job and you go home for the day, leave your job comes with you because there's only one Donna, so Donna goes home with you.
Goes to the supermarket.
And if you are premenstrual, like was premenstrual wise, not a good time for me. And I'm just wanting to put $20 gas in my thing at the BP, and there's a whole family that are crowding me out. You know what I mean? It can get a little bit too much, a bit overwhelming sometimes.
Absolutely. So you were there for 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years a slave. No, 7 years, Donna. Yeah, that actually grossed Blair out more than it did me when he found out about that storyline. He was grossed out.
Really?
Like, I reckon throwing up in his mouth and him to swallow quietly. Yep. Where I was just like, this is fantastic. I get to root my brother. This is awesome. My God, I can't wait. And hang on, do I find out he is my brother and I still root him? Awesome. But no, Blair was very like,
wow.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe is he more of a method actor?
I don't know. I think he was just so shocked because we didn't know anything about it. We were called up to Simon Bennett's office, the producer at the time, and we didn't know anything about it. And we're probably into our 4th or 5th month of, pashing and bonking in the ambulance and me rolling over on the speaker and the whole clinic hearing us and hearing Blair count me down into an orgasm and all that kind of rungy, I should say, counting Donna down into a, woo, where did I go? It was a whole other scene and we never filmed it. Yeah, so I had a good time. It was a good time. It was a challenging time and also made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And really didn't have anyone around me or wasn't smart enough to go, actually need someone who can help me manage this money.
Oh, really?
Just going, money, clothes, whānau, have some shoes. You know what I mean? No one around for that.
Yeah, right.
And I got into situations with, having far too much money and wanting to go out and drink and do drugs and be cool and smoke Dunhill Blue and do all those Ponsonby Road things that I'm supposed to do because I'm this actor now on Shortland. I got stuck into that gross
There was quite a lot of
circle.
drugs. I remember
lots of drugs.
A friend of mine that was on Shortland Street for a long time and was massively into coke and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just because you got the money and everyone's kind of bowing down and kissing your bum, but they're not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just got you there. They're using you for the time that they've got you to do this job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, your thirds and your seconds have to be kind to you, otherwise they don't get a job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you're out the door, you're gone.
Yeah.
And saying that, it was a massive whānau buzz for me being with Shorty Street because my mum had moved. She went to Brisbane for a little bit before she got cancer. And so it was just me stuck in this cool little tree house in Browns Bay and then going to work every morning. And Ange Bloomfield was a major support person for me.
Right.
Blair was just amazing. Carl Burnett, awesome. There's the awesome people.
Yeah.
Robin Malcolm, I adore.
Yeah.
And actually lived with her for a few years.
All right.
Which was great. Yeah.
Because some people I know, like I think I was talking to Craig about this, about just the sausage factory of it, like the just constant work. So that's quite...
Yeah, you're just punching out, yeah. And I was very lucky. I have a photographic memory.
Yeah, that is lucky.
So I can literally take a snapshot of it. So I never had to learn, do any full-on lines kind of thingy. But, yeah, it is a sausage factory. I remember saying that once, went out with a mate of mine who was quite proud to be hanging out with Donna, and someone said to me at a club, what do you do? I said, I work in a factory. And Justin went, oh, no, she doesn't. She really doesn't. Actually, I was like, dude, it was a joke. Let it go. It's all good.
Yeah.
But it is a factory.
Yeah.
You get paid bloody well, Penny, to be at that factory.
Yes.
So, hey,
Yeah.
I know we all used to do a lot of bitching and whining about how much money we were earning and who was on what and which is really no one's business except your own.
Yeah.
That's your deal, your negotiation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you got paid bloody crazy, stupid money.
Yeah.
And unless you were going to invest in a house or be, super onto it and financially educated and financially mature, you are going to throw it around.
They should provide you with that, shouldn't they? They should really have that.
Well, I think my agent did for a while. Karen's amazing. She really is. But I think I just went, nah, I'm all good. I can handle it myself, which I couldn't. I obviously couldn't. So I got into a bit of trouble.
Right, because I lived for 2 years with Rebecca Hobbs. I was her tenant when she bought...
Oh, are you and Rebecca good mates?
Yeah, so when she bought that house, and you had, I think, an on-screen affair with my other flatmate at the time, who was Rory Williamson.
Oh, Rory, and I was not a very kind person to him.
Oh, weren't you?
No, Penny, look at your face got mean. You got mean girl then. You look like a prefect coming to bash me. I just saw your face. No, I did. No, I was going through a really bad patch.
Right.
And the lovely Rory, who's got a famous daddy.
Yes, which I didn't know. I'd been living with him for about 6 months before I discovered his dad was David Williamson, famous Australian playwright.
Yes. When it does become a sausage factory, you do that sense of just a quick shoot's a good shoot. Let's just get, you know what I mean? You get into a rhythm. And if you're a new actor, poor dude, coming into this, and he's Australian.
Yeah.
So he's coming into New Zealand to do this. And I didn't have any patience. I wanted him to be up there with me, and it came across in a really bad way. And I I'm being honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of my behaviour with Rory because he was. How could you be mad at that man? He's just a gorgeous Labrador.
It's a really good description.
How could you punch a Labrador out or want to punch a Labrador out? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he
was
very
just such
sweet.
a happy. What can I do for you? Let's go for a dance. Can I do anything? Why? And it's I regret that.
Right.
And I can't really do anything about it now. No. It's gone, and people are like, Steph, who? What? But to me, I remember thinking, which wasn't a good time.
Right. And so was it your decision to leave, Shorty?
It was mutual because I was going nuts and saying that I didn't want to be Donna Heka anymore and I just wanted my own time to myself to sort myself out.
Yeah, right.
There were lots of so it was a mutual decision. I was wholehearted to them and they were wholehearted to me, and so we just parted ways.
Right, okay, cool.
And so I could go away and do some growing up, I think, get my shit together.
Because how old were you when you were first cast?
22, 23.
Yeah, and you
just
had
so
the kid at 20. Oh, right, okay, wow, yeah.
Yeah. I started off good though. I was going to the gym every day and just doing all that. And then I just started, you've been invited to this, you've been invited to that, go to this, have that, just have a couple of mojitos. That was the drink. Was it Sea Breeze? Sea Breeze was the big drink.
Sea Breezes were quite big, I do believe.
Yeah. Right,
okay. Okay, cool. So
but it was hard leaving because I spent such a long time there and I took a lot of things for granted, even the amount of money that I was earning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You thought that was going to continue in some other way?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It was a moment of my time. It was just, I had some very good friends. Ange Bloomfield was amazing. She was my nana. I used to call her nana. I could go to her about anything. She's just a choice chick.
Yeah. And she's older. Well, she's 50 this year, so she's about the same age as you. But she looks like 20 something.
She looks like a 12-year-old. I know, it's highly disgusting and annoying. Next time I see her, I must punch her in the slats. Just as a kind of...
Just as an affectionate punch. Just an affectionate punch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So now
good intentions.
We've talked about some of this already, but the first question I ask everybody that we've been talking for a long time already is, what has your relationship been with your body through your life and what journey has that been on?
Oh my God. It's been a war zone.
Wow.
Toxic.
Right.
Love, hate, mostly hate.
I
know, isn't that gross? And I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm being real with you, and I hope this doesn't trigger anyone. But I had my mum was a very cool mum. I love her to bits. She's Danish.
Oh.
And not that means anything, doesn't what that makes her cooler.
It's interesting.
But she was a very sick woman,
right.
And she had type 1 diabetes juvenile.
Oh, right.
And a very mean mouth.
Oh.
And she herself had her own issues about weight.
Right.
About being female, she'd been sexually abused when she was younger, as my grandmother had as well. So their whole thing of us growing up was, all men are rapists, look after you. This is what's been programmed into my brain.
Holy shit.
You're looking fat, you're looking unattractive, you can stay home today, or...
Whoa.
In saying this, Juliet, my mother, I'd take a bullet for the woman. Hang on, she's dead, so it's easy to say that. Right. She was my best friend as an adult, Penny, but as a child, not so great.
That's hard.
And so you get a lot of that data. I'm a dumb bonger. I'm a dumb Polly. I'm a big fat bonger. I'm being real. I'm And I'm, or being kicked around on the floor because I can't swallow a Panadol. Her wanting to crush it up with jam and give it to me. She said, no, you're a big 6-year-old. You can swallow the Panadol. And I remember I couldn't. I was gagging on it. She'll probably kick me in the bum for talking about this up there. And she kicked me around the floor and called me a stupid black bonger.
She called you a stupid black bonger?
Fat black bonger. Okay, so... when you get a lot of that stored into your brain,
oh my God,
and saying this, my mother is everything to me, Penny. I love her, but she was sick. She had no patience. She was and she had a nasty mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean, like nobody. That's the thing. We watch television, and everybody's either good or evil, but nobody is. Everybody has shades of all those things.
Yeah. Because in the next moment, she'd be giving me a cuddle, or if I'd got the flu or something, and got me in bed, and a little. As mummies used to do, because she was a nurse as well, have a little flannelette on my, you know what I mean?
Yep. My mum's a nurse
too. But she gave
me
very negative, I love nurses, negative ideas and thoughts about my own body. And then being an early developer, being part Polynesian, I had tits in Form 1. So I was like, dudes used to follow me everywhere. I used to, you know what I mean? So it was having that unwanted attention. I didn't want to look at my body, but look at my body. And then they would turn it around and start calling me names, because it was predominantly a North Shore school. So there was only 2 brown girls. There's a Tongan girl, I remember her, and myself. So they would start to get mean and nasty about that as well. So I have lots of negative impacts. So I thought what I'd do to help myself, to heal myself from this trauma, was to join the TV and film entertainment industry. See what I did there? Yeah.
Fuck.
Just to really fucking rub it in.
Yeah, really.
That I'm not a Kimberly Crossman size or a Bloomfield size. I am my size, and that size should be okay.
And what were the producers like with you on Shortland?
Amazing.
Great.
Amazing. I used to moan to Simon all the time, oh, I don't want to wear this top. It's going to show my fat arms and stuff. He said, Stephanie, you look beautiful.
Oh, that's great. So, and that's the thing.
Steve, and he's a dude.
Yep.
He's a tourist. Like, that's not his, he's a producer. He can do his own thing. But he always made sure that I felt good about myself. And I've never said that to Simon, actually. He always did it. And it felt real. I didn't feel like he was bullshitting or had an agenda or just get her into the bloody costume, stupid bitch, and film it. He was always present. And he would always say, you look amazing, Steph. You have big curly hair because you're Polynesian. Why do you want to have it straightened on our show?
Yeah, wow.
Why do you want it to be, you have beautiful skin, your colouring, everything about you is beautiful.
Oh.
Why can't you see that?
Yeah. Because you've had it programmed into you from a young age.
He said, however, if you want wardrobe to give you a cardi, if it's going to help your performance, put the cardi on. And I went, no, fuck the cardi, I'll just go and do it. And I did it. And I felt a little bit brave.
That's...
Because I hate, a lot of women don't like showing their arms. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, absolutely.
But he was amazing. The producers were amazing with me, Penny. I can't fault any of them. They were all awesome.
Right.
We had great directors, John Cullen, Samantha Scott. We had some awesome directors. And Simon Bennett was a primo producer. Just a very cool dude.
Just all that shit got in your head and you found it hard to expunge it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay.
And my husband still has to put up with it, and it annoys him.
Yeah, so does mine.
It upsets him. It's that self-talk of, oh, you're dumb,
Oh, that's...
Even dumb's like dumb. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, don't do that. And I'm 49, mate, and it's still a journey. It's still a learning thing. I'm still learning. Like, my new thing this year is to learn about boundaries and setting boundaries up for myself. I've never done it. I'm an absolute tragic people pleaser, and I don't like to rock the boat. Hate confrontation. Talk a big game. Big baby. Right. Let's be honest. Right. So this year I'm learning YouTubing and coaches and stuff about just standing up for myself and telling the truth. Because if I don't tell the truth, I'm doing myself a disservice.
Absolutely.
If I don't tell the truth, I'm taking the power away from myself. I'm nearly 50. I've been here for half a century. Let's put your big girl pants on. Let's look at some other ways we can be making you feel more confident or more strong within yourself.
Yeah. Because that's the thing.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I've done, I don't know, something like 30 something of these podcasts, and you are so not alone. And we just get that programmed into our head from such a young age, and that's why it's so important. I think for mothers to not talk about their weight around their daughters and try not to get all that.
But it's hard though, Penny. I did it with my kid a bit. I would do things like, you don't want to be eating Nutrigrain, you know what I mean, while I'm having a pie around the corner. Good one, Steph. Good one.
So what's happened with him?
Well, now he has a few weight issues as well. And whenever he calls me, the first thing out of his mouth is, Mum, I've put on a bit of weight. My fucking heart dies, Penny. Sweetheart. I die inside. Right, because there were a few comments that you've made as an adult that you think have just gone into, they've held on to it and festered, and it's sat there, and it's determined their self-worth, it's determined their self-esteem, and that made me sad. Yeah. I said, Jules, I don't care what size you are, my friend, as long as you're happy and healthy, I love you. I love your guts.
Yeah.
Love you. I've got a beautiful 16-year-old niece, and she's got cheeky brothers, and they're always calling her thunder thighs and stuff. The child is tiny. Yeah. She's a tiny little Bo Derek-looking thing, and they go on about her thunder thighs. That's the other thing. You can be a size 8 and still think you've got thunder thighs, because years ago it was programmed into you, where you were told so many times that you must have them. It all becomes, you're defined by your thunder thighs as opposed to who you are as a person, who you are as a creative person, and who you are as a woman.
It's like
because it's gross, man.
We're all so fucked up, and we've all had so much stuff put into us, and it's like, what? Human race is shit sometimes. I don't know. Like, I don't want to be depressing everybody.
Sometimes. No. I'm feeling like I'm downing everyone too.
Yeah. But it's like, that's one thing with COVID. I've been so disappointed at the selfishness of people. Like, just scan the fucking phone before you go into there so that my show won't get cancelled. You know, like, it's like, why was that so hard? Yeah. Anyway, so then having a baby, did that give you more love for your body or not?
Not love, but like, check me out.
I mean, fuck yeah.
How the fuck? Okay, never mind the placenta story. But look, I just birthed and made a human, a little baby human. Not obviously by myself, but I had, The exit doors are mine, honey. And he came out and
you brewed him.
I did, and he was so tiny, like a little bird.
Yeah,
he wasn't very big.
Right.
Let's not because you'll just marry that up with the placenta story and come up with your own. Yeah, he was tiny actually, and he was 3 weeks early.
Oh, right.
3-4 weeks early. Yeah. Me and my waters broke. I said, Mum, I rang Mum and said, Mum, I think I pissed the bed. She goes, oh my God, your waters are broke. Get to Middlemore immediately.
Right, okay. Yeah, like, I mean, because I've never wanted children, and so I have no concept of this, but I just imagine that rush when you first hold him, that I've heard about that is...
I did, but I had a terrible, I don't know what happened. Had the kid, he's in his cot, I cruised downstairs and tried to catch a bus to Niuean. I don't know what was going on in my brain. My mother went, I don't know. I was like, this is a wonderful gift. What a wonderful gift I have, and I'm just going to go and leave the hospital. I don't know what was going on for me. I don't know whether it's like a PTSD thing or what do you call it? The
brain fog?
The post-baby blues.
Oh, yeah.
But literally trying to find money to catch a bus to Niuean. I don't live in Niuean. I don't know what was going on for me. Wow. But once my mother grabbed me by the head, took me back into the hospital, I think I was in shock.
Yeah.
Let's just call it that, shall we?
Yeah.
It wasn't me running away from anything.
Right.
Yeah. No, just about how amazing my body is, how amazing the female body is. I can't say how amazing my body is, but I'm able to say how amazing the female body is, that we can do that. So
you don't think your body is amazing?
Not really, no. No, but it is. It's a piece of art. I know, yes. I know. And I'm going to be during the menopause transition, it's made me start to think about things like just a bit more self-care.
Right.
For myself.
Yeah, great.
And standing up for myself, and how you go about setting boundaries with people who I just let walk all over me sometimes. Yeah. Too scared to say anything because I don't want to bum them out or make them not like me. That kind of buzz. Yep. I want to get past that kind of schoolgirl thing. I'm 50, as I said, next year, and I want to be not to turn into a complete asshole, but to turn into someone who is strong, assertive, confident, and has boundaries. Yeah. I've never ever been able to achieve that my entire life. So I thought this kind of menopause transition, all that kind of might be the right time. Might not. I might become what do they call us? A galloping catastrophe.
You've been doing your research.
Isn't that what that stupid doctor called?
Yes.
Or a castrate.
Yes, exactly.
Or a galloping catastrophe.
Galloping catastrophe, exactly.
But I don't mind being a galloping catastrophe. Maybe more like a slow jog. I'm not really a galloper. I'm short. But yeah. Galloping catastrophe. I love it.
So then how has menopause manifested in you?
Lots of hot flushes, lots of kind of rosy cheek stuff, which I hate. Heater in the middle of body spreading outwards kind of stuff. I've had panic attacks.
Oh.
Panic attacks have come back, Penny.
Right.
I haven't had a panic attack since the old lady kicked it in 2000.
Right.
So to have them back again is very strange.
Yeah.
Like feeling like I'm going to die or have a heart attack, kind of call the ambulance. I've called the ambulance a few times and they've just talked me down and said, no, darling, it's in your head, which is hard when you're telling them that you don't think it is in your head because you can't breathe.
Yeah.
But they're like, Steph, you're breathing because you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just taking you down from that heightened place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So lots of, disgusting, doing backstroke in my bed, feeling like I'm in a pool in the morning, just sweat, blankets, duvets, everything.
Just soaked through. Wow.
Soaked through. So lots and lots of laundry.
How's your husband coping with that? Not that,
he has a bit of a sweat on as well. He's okay. He's got it's a super king, so it's like, how are you? What are you up to? So, the damage is minimal. Yeah. It's just on my side. But, I've got to wash the sheets. It just drenched. Wow. Feeling agitated, crying at everything, pet ads, K-dramas, although they do make you cry anyway. And my skin has felt quite dry recently. That's one thing about my body I love. I've got beautiful skin. I do. Right. It's like a baby's everywhere. Right. Just everywhere, Penny. Right. Just letting you know.
Okay, good.
But there has been a loss of moisture. It's felt dry. My skin's getting dry. So I feel like it's that husky. You're turning into a desiccated.
You're desiccating, yeah.
Husk with lippy on.
A desiccated husk who looks very pretty.
Oh, and noisier.
Noisier?
Now, it's just come on in the last couple of weeks where I felt just a little bit nauseous in the morning and I thought, no, you're not. Pregnant. No, that wouldn't happen. That hasn't been happening. But I looked it up, menopause symptoms and noisier is a big one.
I thought you said you were noisier as in louder. I was like, what? What is it?
Oh, no, that's not possible. Was it nausea? Yeah. Nauseous, yep. Noisier.
Right.
Noisier.
Yeah, right.
Potato.
And so...
what about... And sleep hasn't been great, let's be honest. 3 o'clock waking up and can't get back to sleep and stuff.
When did this start happening?
About a year and a half ago, and I thought maybe it had something to do with my fasting or the diet change.
Right.
But no, it's night sweats, the heater going on in your face.
Right, okay.
And that's the other thing. I worked in this job for 6 months. I've put on about 6-7 kilos, and I'm thinking, is that stress? Is that menopause? Is that because Whitaker's blonde is really yummy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many different factors going on for me at the moment. I'm not quite sure. But, they talk about the menopause tummy tire thing.
Yeah, but that's one problem with, like, being a lady. You're like, which one of these things is it? Because it could be numerous things. And so it's like, I've been sharing with everybody that I have a burning vulva, which is exciting for me.
What do you mean?
There's a condition called vulvodynia, which is quite rare, but yet not as rare as people might think. And it is like a burning in the whole genital region, which is really fun, as you can imagine. And it started...
For when?
Yeah, it started in December, and it's still going on. And I thought initially, because of this podcast, I was like, well, I guess it's menopause. But then I've gone through various tests and stuff like that, and it's probably not. And so I've just been prescribed, it's actually an antidepressant called amitriptyline.
Yeah, it's a good old antidepressant, amitriptyline.
Yeah, so I've just started on that, which is helpful for sleeping, I have to say.
No restless legs on amitriptyline?
No, but I'm watching, because it can cause seizures, and I'm epileptic, so that's an exciting time for me.
Oh.
Yeah, so anyway, so just trying to, and it is actually, I feel like it's just starting to work, so there's a little less bad than it was. It's just this constant burning.
So you mean like wanting to touch it to cool it down, or, when you hurt your body, you put your hand on it? Is that kind of like, do you put a flannel on your...
It's like, for me, I've been quite lucky, despite it being really fucking awful, in that it's not as bad as a lot of other people that I've been reading about. There's two different types.
I thought vaginas were dry, itchy, but you've got burning. Trust you want burning instead of dry or itchy. No, I want the burning one. Yeah. That sounds
Even
good.
though there's been slightly itchy, I don't know, of late, and I prefer the burning, I have to say. Isn't that interesting?
Because it keeps you warm down there because it's winter?
No, it's not like that. It's just like this constant, and it's nerve pain. That's what it is. It's nerve pain. So it's not...
Oh, okay. So they've got you on nerve, like Gabbies, or they got you on the gabapentin?
No, that's what the amitriptyline is for. It also works for nerve pain, but in lower doses than for antidepressants.
That's interesting to know.
And what is also... Because I'm also epileptic, so I'm on a anticonvulsant, which is also sometimes used...
An Epilim?
No. An Epilim is... If anyone's listening that's on Epilim, you have to be very careful if you're trying to get pregnant, because it causes very bad damage to your unborn child. But
I'm on
lamotrigine, which is a mood stabilizer, and I was on Tegretol for a long time, and now I'm on this. So I'm like, is this even my personality?
Yeah, I've been on antidepressants, on Effexor, which is a really strong antidepressant since the old lady went in 2000 because of the panic attacks of the GP.
Yeah.
Just where you need to...
And you're still on that?
Do whatever you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and look, it's 21 years later.
Yeah, and and that's great because it's working for you and you're keeping it up.
Well, I'm not depressed anymore, but the thing is, Penny, and I think that's because I'm on an all-meat diet, and I don't eat any carbohydrate. I run on fat.
Right.
On ketones.
So you're doing that?
I don't run on sugar.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just...
Is that working for you?
I don't know, because I just had a little bit of brain fog then. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, brain fog.
Right.
What is that? I'm in the middle of talking to someone and they're giving me their symptoms, and I will just immediately just have this blank moment. Yep. It's even worse than being on stage and forgetting a line or something, because you can always make something up or go again if it's filming.
Yeah.
But this is all I have, is my ears talking to the person, and I just I had this massive, like, what the fuck was I even talking about?
Yeah.
Why does that happen? Why is that happening to me?
It's because you have estrogen.
Dr. Penny, sort it out.
It's because you have estrogen receptors in your brain. And so that's the thing. There's estrogen receptors everywhere, and that's like it's all over your body, which is why you can have all these different symptoms. Like estrogen regulates your temperature, and so that's when it's dropping. Okay. That's why you get hot and sweat.
Yeah, got that.
It's the brain fog issue. There is I think there's receptors in your joints, so that's why you can get painful joints. It's all about that. But I think also progesterone comes into it with the mental acuity. I think there's something around. That's why sometimes if you take progesterone as well. So have you thought about HRT?
No, but I'm going to talk to my GP about it. I'm finishing up this job in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
So once I do that, I'm going to have a sit down and go and see him to talk about.
The thing is, so this feels invasive, but what cancer did your mother have?
She had type 1 diabetes, and then she got neuropathy, and then she had, this is so funny, throat cancer.
Why is it?
The woman never smoked. She never drank. She always was very healthy, ate well. Right. Throat cancer and the salivary glands.
Oh, wow. Right.
So she literally had to carry around a bottle of water to
hydrate her throat.
Great word that. Yeah, hydrate her throat. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, because if you have a history of breast cancer, HRT can be problematic, or ovarian cancer. So that is better that it's not those as much as you know.
No, it was just all up in here, which was a weird place for it.
Especially if she didn't smoke. But if you go, if you go because it's not for everybody, and I hasten to add that I don't want to be somebody that's seen, but the thing is, I know a lot of women that it works really well for. So, but you have to start with your doctor, discuss your symptoms. Hopefully they are somebody who knows about it, because a lot of GPs don't.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like maybe this is a time in my life, and I don't know why I'm whispering. I feel like my doctor can hear me, but why would he be tuning in? That's just weird. But I think that maybe, people have said this to me for a while now, and I'm always going, yeah, great idea, and I never get round to it. I think I need to go to a woman doctor.
I love my woman doctor.
As much as I love Michael and love him, I think I need to go and see, and this will be this, me getting my stuff together mentally and stuff. I think I need to see a female doctor.
Yeah,
I
mean, I really like my female doctor. She's so great. She listens to me. She refers me to all the things I ask for, which I've heard some people fighting with their doctors about that. But I think sometimes you think, am I a hypochondriac? But no, I just actually have a lot of things wrong with me. I do. So and she's been really good around that. In fact, I was talking about this vulva issue, and she was like, do you want HRT? And I was like, I don't think I need it yet, because I don't know if it is that yet. And I don't actually think it is that. So I went to
I wonder what the burning vulva, is it just a hot flush happening in your front bum? I don't know. I've never heard of burning vulva.
No.
It's just, why does it feel like a concert? Was that Burning Man or
That's
something?
Burning Man,
Burning Vulva.
which is very different.
Oh my God, are you going? Have you got your tickets to Burning Vulva? Oh my God, I can't wait. I mean, that is your last name, Ash.
I mean, I've been talking about this shit for so long, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a festival at some point. But but it's a nerve pain.
Oh, you haven't had any babies, so it'll be a very intimate gig.
It would be it's very tiny, very tight, small.
It's very tiny, yeah, very tiny and tidy.
That's right,
thank you.
Very tiny. So anyway, so you said you've been talking to some girlfriends. So you've got some friends who are going through menopause.
Yeah, but it's a bit like pregnancy, when talking to the new mum or the mum who's about to have their first child, and your pregnancy stories have always got a kind of bad feel, or, oh my God, this happened to me. So a lot of the menopausal kind of stories that have been gifted to me have always had quite traumatic things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had to go and get total, what do you call it? Get the girls and the big old ute removed forever kind of thing, or stuff like that. So I think everyone's different. It's a bummer that the old lady died before she could go through it and share it with me, and then we could share it down to. We've only got one niece, all the rest are all nephews and boys, just to be able to share that information on.
No aunts.
No, mum was an only kid with her brother, who died 2 days before his wedding in a motorbike accident. Oh, it's a very tragic story. It's tragic. Every time I talk about it, it just gets more and more tragic. Yeah. And that's who I'm named after, Stephanie.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah.
So, you found it difficult to find people to relate to?
Yeah, just because my mum was very close to my mum. I don't really, haven't got any aunties on mum's side, aunties on dad's side, not incredibly close and intimate with the Niuean side of my family. So lots of different stuff,
Do you feel connected?
Happening for me.
Do you feel connected?
No, not at all. I feel connected to neither side. It's horrible.
Right.
It's gross. And I feel like all I'm doing is giving you down stuff, chatting to me. But no, I never fit in anywhere.
Oh, right.
You don't fit in with that family. I don't speak Niuean. Mum was Pākehā. She was the matriarch. We were brought up as Europeans, but you step outside the house, you're not seen as a New Zealand European, you're seen as a Polynesian. Yeah. So all my issues with being brown and white and wanting to be white or have a white name and all that shit, Penny. A lot of shit growing up, a lot of stuff kind of to deal with.
I wasn't triggering by using some Niuean in the introduction.
I know, I'm going to have to go, I'm going to go away and suck my thumb and rock in a corner somewhere. You're an asshole for doing this.
Well, hopefully
No, it's all good. Hopefully if there are people out there that go, shit, my mum did the same thing to me. I wonder why that's why I'm the way I am about da-da-da, or all behaviour has meaning. If someone out there picks up on something and that, or they go, yeah, I had the same thing.
Yeah,
I had a burning vulva. What the hell was that about? So I want to know about the burning vulva, though. Seriously, it's not an antibacterial thing. No. Is it a hot flush happening in your girl lips?
No, it's just nerve pain. So the nerve endings.
Oh, it's nerve pain's making it hot.
Well, it doesn't feel hot. It's it's hard to describe, like a burning pain.
It's like pins and needles.
Yeah, sort of like extreme pins and needles. Except,
that might be quite. Does that not feel quite nice though? No. Okay, because you know what I'm talking about with pins and needles that we sometimes get in our front bums, and it's like, my God, what is going on
My
here?
husband is.
I am not about to interfere.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, it's none of that. It's just this constant low level sort of pain. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's not nice, babe.
No, it's very irritating. So much so that I'm prepared to take a medication that might give me a seizure, having not had one since 1994. But because I am quite controlled, hopefully it's fine. Like I actually there's a Facebook group for New Zealand epilepsy support, and I put, has anybody done this? And a few people had. I didn't say where.
Oh, cool. That make you feel better?
Absolutely.
Oh, you didn't say where? Yeah. You didn't.
I just said nerve pain, and a couple of people said I've been taking it and I've been fine. Another person said I took it, had an immediate seizure. But most of the people that did that have still having seizures. So I've been very fortunate as an epileptic to be completely controlled. My history, for those who've been listening will know, is that I took Tegretol for 16 years and it made me hungry, but I didn't know that was what was making me hungry. So I was on Jenny Craig and I was trying to do all the dieting.
Same girlfriend done that.
Yeah. And so nothing worked that way. So so you lost 70 kilos. So was that from fasting?
No, not from fasting. That was me just taking all the carbs and all the processed food out of my diet. I only eat one ingredient foods. Egg is perfect. It's a nose to tail animal before it's an animal. It's got all the nutrients and stuff you need. Eat that. Meat is one ingredient. Cabbage is one ingredient. Butter is one ingredient. So I just eat one ingredient foods, and I only eat once a day. So really? I had to train myself into that. Yeah. Snacking is an emotional event.
Right.
It's not there to feed your body nutrition.
Right.
When you snack, you're wanting the dopamine hit. I need chips, I need a pie, I need an ice cream, I need Whittaker's Blonde to get that feel-good thing happening in your head.
What about snacking on an apple or a carrot?
Did you really need the apple, though? That's the thing.
Well,
anywho.
Yeah.
So I only eat once a day, but by God, it's a great meal, and it's yummy, and it's always, it's not, I'm not starving myself. I don't starve myself with fasting, because when I'm not eating, my body is eating my fat.
Yeah. When do you have that meal?
The energy storage. Used to have it at around 10 in the morning, but because of the job, and I don't finish till around 5, it's now become a 6 o'clock meal.
Right, okay. So you don't eat?
No, and it's really fun, but you really notice how other people how much they rely on putting something in their gob, like every 3 hours, or just things, a snack on that, some, even if it's just good snacking, do you know what I mean? But the constant smoko, morning tea time, Yeah. No, I've stopped all that.
My husband just started cycling 60 Ks a day to work and back. And he just eats
fell off
all the time. Oh, he was already pretty skinny. And now he's so skinny. Like he tries to push his stomach out and it just sort of goes like this. I'm like, fuck you.
Poor little man.
Look
at you, little old belly.
You're like, poor man. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. What annoyed me is my hubby went on it with me too, but men drop weight quicker because their body doesn't need to hold on to fat the way it does for women.
Yeah,
obviously, because we bring life into the world.
Yes.
Because we're super cool.
Yes. So now one of my questions is, does it affect your working life? And you would say that brain fog while you're on the phone.
Just a brain fog, just occasionally. And I'm just wondering whether it's just old age or, I think it is. It's a menopausal thing, isn't it?
Totally.
That's and a little bit of crying.
Yeah,
a little bit of crying, but I love to cry. I'm a big crier. I'm a water sign. I love to cry.
Right.
I do it quietly and away from people. And I'm like, oh my God, my life. Bull cow crying on the street. No, I'm not doing that.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, do you think, around menopause or weight loss or your body or anything?
No, because I think I'm still on the journey. Like,
totally.
Yeah, like I really haven't. I've had 3 periods this year. So I'm still kind of, am I in the transition?
Yeah.
Dr. Ashton?
Totally. You're in perimenopause. You classic perimenopause.
I'm periing my ass off right now. So I think towards the end of this year, it may be that transition will happen.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of learning to do about myself. I've got a lot of tweaking to do with my headspace and how I feel about myself. And also, as I said, maybe talk to my sister. She's a NLP practitioner, neuro-linguistic programming. NLP therapy. Just wanted to talk to someone just about why I am a people pleaser, why I want to smooth things over, why I let people walk all over me, and why I don't speak my mind without upsetting. So those are things that I find weak. Right. And that need to be looked at and need to be addressed, really, because otherwise I'm not being true to myself, Penny.
Surely you were seeking your mother's approval all the time. Would that be something to do with being a people pleaser?
Oh, absolutely.
That makes sense to me.
Oh, shit, I don't have to send you any money, do I? I didn't think about you being able to. That's so, you're completely right. And the thing is, to be fair, she wasn't a well lady. She wasn't well. And she had her own demons. She had her own illness and her own grief with her brother passing.
Yeah, totally.
and being stuck out on a farm in Waipukaro with mum and dad, and you know what I mean? So she had her own shit to deal with. She had her own stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
I mean, so the way perimenopause, you're only actually menopausal for like 1 day, which is 1 year from your last period is when you're officially in perimenopause. So officially menopause. So you're perimenopause before that and then postmenopausal. So there's like that 1 day when you're officially hitting the menopause. But I find this interesting as well. Like, so you're about to be 50, so you know that you're like, your life is such a journey, and you've got so long to go, and yet we've been so traditionally written off at this age, but yet we've got so much longer. You know, your mother was obviously different, but theoretically, you know, from average life expectancy, etc., we have so much to go, and yet we've been written off, and it's fucked.
It is.
But we shan't be. We shan't be.
We won't be. I reckon we're fucking tough bitches.
Totally.
Look at what our bodies are capable of doing.
That's right. And celebrate your marvellous self.
I will celebrate. I'm going to learn to celebrate my marvellous self. Yeah. Good. It's a lifelong journey, eh? Doesn't just happen overnight.
Absolutely. And you know, and you have been so entertaining and open and honest and fabulous. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
It's lovely to have them. This is my first little podcast, Penny, so
yes,
I hope I didn't pop too much on the mic.
No, people will be banging on your door, I'm sure, to do this more. But do you have a fun fact about something or anything, or did you just...
No, it was something that I learned a couple of years ago, just about the fact that we as women are born with our grandma's eggs.
What?
Oh, wow,
really?
You didn't know this. Wait, just stand by, caller. Now I'm going to show off.
Thank you.
Shit, where is it? Here we go. Just stand by, caller. All the eggs a woman will ever carry form in her ovaries while she's a 4-month-old fetus in the womb of her mother. This means our cellular life as an egg begins in the womb of our grandmother. So each of us have spent 5 months in our grandmother's wombs. And
right.
Yeah, I've got to find out more about that. This is like a big deal. This was a big thing. And I was like...
Of course, yes. So they're not our grandmother's eggs, but we grew inside our grandmother, inside our mother.
Yeah, like a babushka.
We're all Russian dolls. Yeah.
That's a cool thing. I think that's fucking choice.
Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Yeah, I think that is quite nice.
But that's all I had. I couldn't think of anything.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You get back to some vaping. There you go.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm sexy.
You obviously quit smoking.
Well, that is... Yeah, all right, Ashton, back off, all right? You deal with your burning vulva, I'll deal with my people-pleasing boundary issues, and then I'll address the fucking nicotine thing.
Okay, good.
Jesus, your hard work.
My grandmother died of emphysema when I was 10.
Oh, sorry, okay.
And I'm very... No, it's all right. And so I'm deeply evangelical about that. So
no, deeply do it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have a fabulous day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Penny. You have a fabulous day as well.
And I'm sure you'll do many more podcasts because you're highly entertaining.
Oh, I'd love to do some more. And you look after your burning vulva. I'm concerned about that. She needs her own little cool pack, little wheat bag. It's like a little merkin thing. Excuse me, can't talk burning vulva.
Think about your big fat ute getting plumper or desiccating from the inside.
Oh, at least if I lose a bit, it's not going to show as much. Big fat ute. Oh my gosh.
On that note,
bye. Take care. The 4-wheel drive's off. Bye-bye. See you, Penny. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
No worries. So that was the utterly hilarious, fabulous, marvellous, bloody funny Stephanie Tauevihi. Now, sorry if that sounded a bit like an actor circle jerk at times. I mentioned Craig there, and that's Craig Parker. Simon Bennett was the lovely producer, and I actually passed that praise on to him, which he appreciated. And Blair Strang played Rangi, who was her on-screen husband / brother. Anyway, thanks for coming to my shows last week. Why he sold out, you little ripper. Auckland is a little bit harder. It's interesting to navigate sales trajectories in this not post-COVID world, let's be honest, in this mid-COVID world, but New Plymouth is selling its bloomers off for the end of July at the Fourth Wall Theatre. So thank Christ for that. And I am so sick of my own company. I've been laying low to avoid catching COVID to do my shows, etc. So the lovely comments I have been receiving about this podcast have really cheered me up of late. Feel free to review the show on all of your podcast apps. Sign up to support the podcast on Patreon and stay tuned for upcoming guests. I've already interviewed Jan Logie, the Green MP, and Ren Lunica, who is Whangarei's finest non-binary comedy star. Talked to them all about their and their wife's transitions and much, much more. And a quick bits flash for VNN, Volvo News Network. As I said, yes, and Stephanie could be an investigative reporter for VNN, I believe. But the amitriptyline I have been prescribed by a specialist seems to be dulling the nerve pain indeed, which is amazing. However, it does seem to be drying out my voice, which isn't great for singing. Oh, this is so much fun. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But thank you so much, my lovely ovarians. Now, I know I was a bit of a downer at some points in that one, but you are members of the human race who are the bestest, and you will hear me next time on Showy Ovaries. Ka kite!